Okay. Now, Dr. Anand Ramanan, President of Sri Ramanashramam, is going to talk. Anand?
Antaryasha bhagaye vidutatimiram jyotirmayam shashvatam sthanam prapya virajate vinamatam ajnanam unmulayan ashyan vishwam pidamullasati yo vishwasya pare parah tasmai Shri Ramanaya loka gurave shokasya hantre namaha Tupparivilla ippira penpayan oppidavaye Arunachala. Dear brothers, sisters, and children in Sri Bhagavan, we've been captivated for the past 14 hours or so by the amazing performances by each satsang group in the celebration, in the global celebration of the 143rd Jayanthi of Bhagavan's Avatara. This was flawlessly organized and executed by Arunachala Ashrama. I take this opportunity to thank Sri Mohan for his gentle but determined leadership of this prestigious institution, which is the face of Bhagavan and Arunachala in North America. And his leadership over the past few years, including the COVID crisis, is something to talk about. I want to thank all the satsang groups for their wonderful initiative, the hard work that went behind bringing out such original new content every time. Finally, thanks to the members of the volunteer technical team. Very seamless transition from one city to another across several continents. Friends, on January 7th, the 143rd Jayanthi celebration of Sri Bhagavan was celebrated with great fervor and devotion in Ramanashramam from 4 a.m. onwards. There was excellent Nadaswara music. There were decorative floral arrangements everywhere, beautiful columns. There was Veda, Parayana chanting at the shrine, devotional singing. And total of 14,000 meals, including breakfast, lunch, and dinner, were picked up by the wonderful kitchen crew and served with great devotion by the volunteers. In 1912, Bhagavan was requested by Vasudeva Shastri to allow his birthday to be celebrated. Bhagavan used this opportunity to compose a verse to convey a message to bring us all out of illusion into reality. And I quote Bhagavan's words, quote, "You who wish to celebrate the birthday, seek first whence was your birth. One's true birthday is when one enters that which transcends birth and death, the eternal being." Friends, what was his teaching by this verse? What does it mean, seek first whence was your birth? Aren't we all aware of who our parents are and the date of our birth? Yes, but that is the date of the birth of a body, and the parents are bodies from which this body is born. However, are we this body? If so, we will surely die. What did Bhagavan do as a youngster of 16 when faced with certainty of immediate death? By a deep inquiry, he discovered forever that it was not the body, and he never was born and would never die. That was his true birthday, when he entered that which transcends birth and death, the eternal being. He was reborn as a spirit immortal. The illusion that he was a body in time and space died on that day. Today, we can all only imagine that state. But because of Sri Bhagavan, we know that it is possible for us also to attain that same state. Only question the illusion and it will disappear, as he says. To seek oneself and merge in the self, that is wisdom, Bhagavan says. How to seek oneself? Bhagavan instructs us the inquiry in every situation. To whom is this happening? Who am I? And constantly keeping our attention on the I, or the aham. Gradually, our mind loses interest in the magic show of the world and our own self grows stronger. The concepts about the world, ourselves, God, which binds us, our true selves, to the bonds of illusion, are weakened by this frequent, persistent questioning. By persistent inquiry, ignorance will vanish and wisdom dawns. Friends, therefore, we have great joy and good cause to celebrate the birth of Bhagavan, our own self, whose living presence guides us out of ignorance to wisdom. We are celebrating the living presence of our Master Bhagavan. Friends, today I will take this opportunity to dwell on the compassion, the persistent compassion on Bhagavan, and also briefly talk about the living presence of Bhagavan. Over the next few minutes, I know it's been a long day for you, please bear with me. This first incident is from T.K. Sundaresa Iyer, and it's from Silent Power. Friends, in 1935, Bhagavan was suffering from a severe attack of eczema, especially during the winter time. This severely pruritic condition which causes skin rashes all over the body inflicted Bhagavan. There was a doctor friend of Sri Sundaresa Iyer who was treating Bhagavan every day, and Bhagavan was covered in Dr. TK's words with white ointment and with a white coat of cream and ointment. And to quote his words, it was a month of December and Bhagavan's Jayanthi was arriving. I used to talk to my doctor friend about the speciality of Jayanthi Darshan. For on Jayanthi day, Bhagavan had a special glow of light about him. His starry eyes had a special luster, and those around experienced the ambrosia or the elixir of life. It is for experiencing this light or bliss of being that devotees flock to him from near and far on that day. Though this experience was obtained on normal days, TK says, it was very intense on particular occasions like Jayanti, Mahapuja, and Kartikeya Deepam days, or on days when great souls met Sri Bhagavan. It was a special favor to devotees, an act of special grace of Bhagavan on the Jayanti occasion. It was at this time that Bhagavan was also putting ointment all over the body. Now, what could be the nature of this Jayanti Darshan? The two friends wondered. This was the anxiety also of predominantly of the doctor friend, and he used to ask me often, Mr. Iyer, how will Bhagavan give special darshan to his devotees with these white pains and patches all over his body? I'm sorry, I shall not also have this fortune of having this special darshan. Why should he have this disease at this time when I'm visiting him. TK says, I used to reply, wait and see if he'll be Bhagavan, your patient, or the Bhagavan of my description, dispensing special grace on the Jayanti occasion. The Jayanti day came. There was the usual decorations, gathering of devotees, pujas, music, etc. Bhagavan was seated in a specially decorated pandal, and Bhagavan was covered in white ointment. So TK says, I was not sorry that Bhagavan was going to belie my expectation and that of other devotees accustomed to having the Jayanti gift. I was only sorry for my doctor friend, he says. It was 9 a.m. with all eyes riveted on Bhagavan, and suddenly appeared the special features of Bhagavan on his face and eyes. The Nijamauna Bhava, its fullness expressing itself as Atma Rama, Mudita Vadana, and manifestation of Dakshinamurti appeared. The bliss of his being ebbing over his countenance and beautifying it, true to the words of Dakshinamurti's names. Sundara, Sundara, Sundara. I am the perfection of beauty of the inner self. I am I, Ahamevam, appeared. The peace of his being permeated the atmosphere and all those that were gathered around, keeping them enthralled in the grace and around, that was his. The peace that passeth all understanding, the unborn, Ajayamana, was revealing himself through a form. Bhagavan was telling us without telling, Tattvamasi, Tattvamasi, Nityam. I whispered to my doctor friend to tell me if Bhagavan was his patient Bhagavan or the Jayanti Ramana Bhagavan. He could only nod his head in acceptance of my remarks. He was all spellbound and in wonder. He remarked later, Mr. Sundaresar, I have lived to see this great marvel. Who could say he is like any of us? Yet he condescends to be one of us, and that is our great fortune. My patient is my darling and my God. Friends, the miracle here is not that Bhagavan cured himself of the eczema. He let Prarabdha run its course. He let the body suffer through the eczema, but he transcended it by appearing as the Atman and showering everyone with the grace. Again, using this opportunity to teach us all that we are not the body. Friends, the second incident I'd like to say happened recently. A grandniece of Ramana the Brahmachari, a devotee of Bhagavan, visited the ashram 3 days ago. And she narrated this incident. Ramana the Brahmachari was one of those young devotees, and later on not so young, who never had a good health. One could remember the plague incident when Bhagavan nursed him, keeping him in Skandashrama, going up every day from Pachayaman Koil and to nurse him to health. Later on, this devotee developed a severe form of tuberculosis, which necessitated him to go to Chennai to be with his brother. Now, this is the grandfather of this pleasant lady who came the other day. Now, this brother was a sub-registrar working for the British government and who had to be on tours and was never at home most of the days. Now, sometime in late 1930s or early 40s, in the morning, around 5 o'clock, there was a knock at their house, and the Ramana the Brahmachari's elder brother's wife and his son were present, and he was sleeping in a room inside. And on opening the door, Dr. T.N. Krishnasamy appears around 4:35 in the morning. And on questioning why, he says that he received an instruction from Bhagavan to go on this particular day at this time, carrying some money to give to the family. And when they opened the door, they found that Ramana the Brahmachari had passed away that night. And the money was used by the family for the cremation purposes. And what could have been a crisis for this family was so beautifully taken care by Bhagavan, both in life and in death. Friends, the part of my job, and a job I really like, is giving letters of recommendation for many devotees who are non-Indians. And this is so that they can get a long-term visa to stay in Arunachala, around the ashram. And what moves me, and talking to each one of them, is, and there are devotees as old as in their 80s. The first one I can remember, it first came to Arunachala in 1960. Is one constant word they use is the living presence of Bhagavan, and the constant benefit they get from the sadhana that they perform in the ashram and by living around the ashram in Arunachala. Now, this is the living presence that continues to prevail to this day. Now, I'd like to read a small editorial by Arthur Osman for those with little dust, and the same title is Living Presence. Quote, days at the ashram were filled not with an air of idleness, but with intense activity. One might compare the ashram to a spiritual factory with the devotees engaged in sadhana and Bhagavan supervising and guiding each one with meticulous though silent care. All knew that they were the disciples and he was the guru. In private, he spoke to them as a guru, sometimes gave instructions for their sadhana. In each case, sadhana under his guidance dated from some act or word of initiation, usually concealed. When asked whether he was a guru and gave initiation, he always avoided a direct reply. Had the reply been a no, he would have most certainly have said no. However, had he said yes, he would have immediately been besieged by demands for initiation and forced to make a distinction between true devotees and those visitors who were not surrendered in their hearts to his guidance. His compassionate love, which is too great, and wisdom too deep to rank disciples as higher or lower than others. Indeed, he did not, since he saw the self in all. When asked whether he gave initiation, Bhagavan usually replied that there were 3 types of initiation: by speech, look, and silence. This left the burden of understanding to the inquirer. These are symbolized by the bird, which needs to sit on the eggs to hatch them, by the tortoise, which only needs to look at, by the fish, which only needs to look at the eggs, and by the tortoise, which needs to only think of the eggs. Initiation by silence is the most natural to the Jnana Marga, the path of self-inquiry. He was an authentic Sadguru, a Jivan Mukta, or perfect Jnani. for whom there are no others, but only the self. He reminded the devotees that the outer form, the outer guru, is simply a form taken out of consideration for the disciples' ignorance and serves to turn them inward to discover the inner guru, the self. In past, spiritual masters wrote openly about theory, but have been more reserved about the practice they prescribe in case people should attempt it without proper guidance. However, Bhagavan was different. Bhagavan proclaimed the path openly, both in speech and in writing. This accords with silent initiation that he brought to the world. The silent initiation descends on those turned to him in their heart. Bhagavan sometimes reminded devotees that even a journey to the ashram in Tiruvannamalai was only illusory, since the real pilgrimage has to be made in the heart. It was the direct path opened by Bhagavan for his lifetime only. Bhagavan said that a guru is necessary for every seeker. However, the guru need not necessarily take a human form. Only rare seekers can follow the guidance of a non-physical guru. Yet, since Bhagavan achieved self-realization without a guru's physical presence, he made this form of spiritual instruction available to all devotees. If Bhagavan could forego the usual mode of initiation and guidance during his lifetime, why not afterwards? Why not now? Right up to the end, Bhagavan showed an interest in the continued publication of the ashram books, even receiving a new edition during the last few weeks of his life. The very purpose of these books was to spread the knowledge of Atma Vichara, the path of self-inquiry. If that path was no longer accessible, what further need of books would there be? And why would Bhagavan show such interest in the publication of books? Bhagavan also approved a will that was submitted to him, one of whose terms was that the ashram should be maintained as a spiritual center when he was no longer in the body. The ashram continues with his grace to radiate his living presence to this day. When his physical death was imminent and devotees complained that he was leaving them without guidance, he replied, quote, "You attach too much importance to the body," end of quote, indicating that discarding it would put an end to their being guided by him. Bhagavan said, Guru is not the physical form, so contact will continue even after the physical form of the Guru vanishes. Before his death, he said, "They say I am dying, but I'm not going away. Where could I go? I am here." This is a simple doctrinal statement because the jnani is universal and there is no here or there, no coming or going in the here or now of eternity. Though we may leave him through our lack of awareness, he cannot leave us, for he is the self. Friends, I'll quickly like to mention that this is the centenary of Sri Ramanashram's foundation. It was founded in 1922 to overlapping to 1923. So we are celebrating the centenary events, and I was happy to be in North America with celebrating the Jayanthi in DC Satsang members, in Arunachala Ashrama, and in the Fremont Satsang group. And I'll briefly mention some of the activities that the ashram continues to think. We will strengthen the publication department. We will print all his books in various Indian and world languages. And I was glad to meet a South Korean publisher recently who's going to reprint 8 of his books. And the rare books are being digitized every day on the website. Now, we will celebrate in North America sometime later part of the year the centenary functions. We will have musical concerts, and we'll try to bring some special speakers in India, and definitely Arunachal Ashrama, District of Columbia group, and in San Francisco, Fremont area will be one of the centers we'll have it. I'd like to mention even in India, many centers will celebrate this functions with a day-long seminar. Of special note, the Rajapalayam group are printing about 150,000 copies of Aksharamana Malai, and they're going to have school children all over southern in Tamil Nadu learn these and have competitions. Friends, you're aware of the continuing digital apps. The Parayana app is almost ready. The Mountain Path app is ready. We are working towards creating a single app. I take this opportunity to pitch in the YouTube channel of the ashram for the devotees to partake in the daily Parayana, and the evening puja can be watched live. The In Focus will continue to be transmitted from the ashram. We will have the Sharanagati magazine from the ashram, which connects the devotees every monthly with the ashram activities, continues to flower and blossom. And thank you for all your encouraging emails. And I also take this opportunity to use the search feature on our website, created so well by our own Manikandan, the AI engineer, so that a research quality on Bhagavan can be done from the comfort of your living room. The new guest rooms will be constructed. At least 50 new rooms have been planned in the next few months. We're going to bring out souvenirs, official souvenirs, and Mr. Ram Mohan is going to be one of the official editor. Dev Gogoi is coming up with a pictorial souvenir. And you might be aware that the Hindu newspaper has brought out a pictorial souvenir of Sri Bhagavan. Friends, we are going to strengthen the green initiatives, planting more trees around Arunachala, provide the clean more lakes, the columns as we call it, and we are going to creating a new pond inside the ashram. And next time I'm sure you will all enjoy the quietude around that place. I'm glad to report that 2 temples, one in Pandava Tirtha and one in Pachaman Kovil, have been renovated and had Kumbhabhishekam with the ashram's financial support. The Narayana Seva continues to increase in scope, and we are even providing several hundred nutritious meals to the municipality in the town to feed people, relatives in the hospital. The ashram dispensary is going to undergo 100% expansion with 11 new consultation rooms, and several low-cost medicines are being continuously brought out, and the devotees continue to get better, and several poor people are getting 90-day free treatment and free diagnostic interventions. Finally, the library will be strengthened as well. I wish to conclude this speech that we as an organization are continuing to grow in strength, and thanks to the wonderful devotees. An institution is only as strong as the sum of its parts. And I'm always amazed at such lovely devotees we have. And I thank you once again. And please visit your home away from home, Ramana Ashramam. And thank you for your attention. Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Ramanaya.
Thank you, Dr. Anand Ramanan. Now, Sushila Mami is going to chant the Sharanagati.
Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Ramanaya. Gati Sarana Gati Parana Sarana Gati Ine Puhatun Ni Ilbogala Ini Bogatunayna Yede Ni Bogala Sarana Gati Smarana Deepa Aruna Nirai Ramana Smarana Aruna Jadani Ramana Karuna Varuna Te Ramana Karuna Varuna Jarana Tarunam Yede Pandro Karunai Ino Kade Tarunam Yede Pandro Karunai Ino Kade Kara Aranda Save Kala Harana Kidil Save Tunbai Yenbai Alika Yenanba Ulaka Tunbai Yenbai Alika Yenanba Yenam Yenna Talam Adaya Srivedriya Yenaubar Yenau Talam Alaya Sri Ramana Sarana Parana Charana Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramana